You know what they say, don't read the comments. Well, I read the comments. Welcome to Scarlett's Don't Read the Comments. Today, Atheist Edition. You know, the nice thing about having a small channel is it's actually manageable to read a lot of the comments, and I think that there is a really nice community of commenters here that has all kinds of interesting and thoughtful things to say, and I really enjoy interacting with everybody, and I'm so appreciative of the commenting, the liking, the subscribing, all of the libations that you pour out to the YouTube algorithm gods. It is greatly appreciated. And of course, as always with these comment videos, wait till the end for some kitty pics. An extra thanks for all the engagement that you've had on this channel. For my 1K subscriber celebration video, I proposed 4 questions for atheists. The first question asked about your religiosity, and people were all over the map, all kinds of religions and people who were raised atheist. I'm not going to go through those. I'm more interested in questions 2 through 4, so let's go to those. Question 2, what is the worst apologetic for religion you have encountered? Wolf Avatar writes, probably the very worst one for me is without God, murder is okay. Sometimes I really feel like the concept of ordained morality just destroys a person's natural empathy. Are they saying that without God telling them not to, they just run around murdering people? What's wrong with them? Yeah, and I agree, this is a terrible one. There are all kinds of societies that have decided that murder is wrong, and of course, murder is by definition wrong because it is the unjust killing of another person. Killing is a different discussion. But anyway, I actually don't know that they're saying that they would murder people. I think this is breaking up the world into us versus them and saying, we have God, we wouldn't murder. Look at those awful atheists. And it just makes them feel justified in their position. I could be wrong on that. Who knows? Hopefully they stay in their religion and they don't start murdering everybody. GreXT says, it's all pretty bad, but I think the worst is when apologists are deliberately lying about what science says to support their nonsensical beliefs, creationists generally. It is funny for a group of people that say that they have truth on their side, that they have to misrepresent everything, but what else are you gonna do? Maple Soon writes, you aren't really an atheist. You don't really believe that. Yeah, don't we all just love when people tell us what's in our own minds? That always makes for an effective conversation tactic, don't you think? As for Bill Garthright, he writes, the worst apologetic? Well, there have been a lot of them, all pretty bad, but the absolute worst was probably one I heard from a Christian just a few weeks ago. He said that he was certain that God was real and that his religious beliefs were true. And since the definition of certainty, according to him, was that it had to be true, his beliefs couldn't be wrong. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. According to him, certainty meant it was true. If it wasn't true, it wouldn't be certain. So since he was certain, it had to be true. You know, Matt Dillahunty talks about Christians who say they know because they know because they know, they just feel it in their heart. But not every intuition or emotion we have is true, and we have to check these things out. Dexter Haven 5 writes, probably Pascal's wager. Even just narrow down to Christianity, there are so many subflavors and some have more requirements than just being a Christian. Yeah, Pascal's wager is no good, and it's kind of like just believe it because it's almost like presuppositionalism, really. Like, no, just go away with that one. Samael 580 writes, you were never a Christian. When I learned about the history of Christianity, which again, most Christians are not in the least bit curious about, there never was an official version of Christianity. That is the one true version that everyone agreed on. The Orthodox Catholic Church seized control of Christianity early on and became the de facto true version, but there was still dissent, and even a split in 1054, then later the Protestant Reformation. Even at the start, there were disagreements on very basic beliefs. So many Christians use the no true Scotsman argument to claim they have the one true official God-approved version of Christianity, but it just isn't so. Indeed, that is so true. And no God is coming down to settle this. You would think that if there are sincere Christians, that the God that wants to have a relationship with them would come and go, no, you're in the wrong one. But that never happens. These are just disputes between people. Mr. Zaffner 8295 writes, the worst apologetic in my book is any sentence that starts with, I just feel. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Like I've already said, not every intuition we have is true. Not every thought we have is true. A lot of good comments, and there were even more in my comment section. I'm sorry I can't get to everybody's answer, but let's go on to question 3. What is the worst pseudoscience argument you have seen presented in the service of proving a God? Wolf Avatar writes, I really don't like the Kalam cosmological argument. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. First demonstrate something beginning to exist. The atoms that formed it already existed. It is only our human concept of a thing that causes it to exist as something different from whatever arrangement the atoms were in previously. Second, the cause is always in accordance with the natural laws of the universe. Proposing a cause that is outside of natural laws cannot logically follow from this premise. Yeah, and then demonstrate that there is something that can be timeless and spaceless and also in a relationship with us. Like, tell me where that exists. I can imagine that the cosmos is eternal, but not a being that created all this, until you present me with some evidence. Casper Hauser 6 writes, the tides go in and the tides go out. Yeah. Well, the gods are busy doing that. Poseidon, right? Isn't that what his job is? Yahweh never seemed all that interested in the tides, though. Aldebaran 4154 writes, there are so many, but any argument that humans are perfect, the universe is perfect, that everything is so hunky-dory that someone had to create it. Yeah, just overlook all the stuff that just fucks up constantly and how life is imperfect. I mean, I'm really into those Greek gods that are tricking you all the time. We always joke that we're in a simulation and the simulators have decided to put impediments in our day, so that makes more sense to me than everything is perfect all the time. Dexter Haven 5 has a similar comment that a design needs a designer and the universe is clearly designed. Yeah, I guess if a design needs a designer, the universe needs a universer or something. I'm sure I'm not the first one to make that comment, but yeah, you're begging the question. You don't know that. We don't know that creation is actually a creation. We call it that in a poetic way. Right, and then let's look at question number 4, which was, what question about atheism would you like to see asked and why? Samael 580 writes, is atheism really a worldview? Many Christians hate atheists because we challenge their fundamental assumptions of how the universe actually works. They end up having to strawman atheists because many of the beliefs of atheists make them very uncomfortable. It used to be there was no discussion. The religious would just burn atheists at the stake with no discussion. But now they can't do that anymore. Their tactics have gotten a little more subtle. Definitely the atheism as worldview has to go away, but it's true that if you don't accept all of the supernatural claims, then Christianity, for example, doesn't work, because even something simple like the Holy Spirit coming into your heart to get you to believe in God and to let you see past your sin, there's something magic going on there. And don't even get me started on how does prayer work, or like what is a soul, or what is evil, those kinds of things. And Les Dixon 3169, ask atheists how they define atheism instead of making pejorative statements about what it is. Yeah, but then how would Christians have fun if they couldn't bash atheists? By the way, preview, my next video will be atheist bashing and deciding what atheists think and why they're bad people and all that kind of stuff. But let's not leave on a sour note. Let's go look at some kitty pics. The first picture we have is a close-up of Alex. He's enjoying some lap time. It's one of his new favorite hobbies. The second picture is of Carson, who's wondering why the bowl is empty again. Those lazy humans, why haven't they filled her bowl? Poor kitty. And the last one is of Susie Q, who is wondering why the hell her human has interrupted her nap to do whatever this thing is that she's doing right now. There we have it, another edition of Scarlett's Don't Read the Comments. If you would like to answer those questions in the comments below, go ahead. It's never too late. I always enjoy reading the comments, and if you like what I do, you can buy me a coffee. That link is in the description below, and I will see you next time for a look at some atheist bashing. See you then.